Welcome back. My name is Timothy Judkins. I am here with...
Hi, Mara Garrett.
And this is the Realty Resource Report, where we give the latest and greatest what's going on in the real estate world and in the world in general, just to give everybody a little advantage in the real estate market. And, we kind of start our show every week letting people know how last week was and things going on. You gave me a thorough debrief on what we can and can't talk about on today's episode, which is fine, but not necessarily condolences, but I'm sorry to hear about your family member that,
Thank you.
Yeah, I know you had a lot going on over the weekend and whatnot, so somebody's trying to call me. You guys only reach out and try to contact me when I'm live or I'm doing video stuff, and I see you, but I'm going to get back to you when we're done. That's just how this works.
How was your weekend?
It was good. It was actually good. We ran around and just did some extra stuff for the house. My sister wanted to see the kids. She was, I haven't seen them. You were in Vegas. And so she came, scooped the kids. It was a good time. So.
Well, yeah. I know you shot a couple extra videos.
Yes, I did shoot a video on Saturday as well for an agent. We have like some, on a Remax related situation, we have a couple video ideas coming. Beyond the Vegas interviews, which you guys are seeing slowly drop. I gave her one. I don't know if she's planning on...
I'm posting it today.
All right, cool.
Yes.
So follow her page.
And then I posted the other one the other day too, with the girl from Texas.
Yep, I saw her, Mallory.
Yeah.
Yep, I saw
the
Mallory one.
3 total in Vegas.
Yeah, I think we're gonna scrap one. I haven't told you that yet.
Okay.
But one of them we're gonna scrap, and
because it
the other
was just Austin, yeah.
Ah, why we gotta expose it? But yeah, there's with 5 more I have to do that are still coming out. So I just put mine out this morning, the one with Eli. It went online on YouTube at 10 p.m. yesterday because I had scheduled for that. But yeah, more things coming soon. The usual. We have multiple angles on the cameras you guys are seeing. Buyer and seller tips are coming in once again. We just have a lot of footage we're just trying to crank out right now. But
I really didn't have much going on. I had a couple showings and then 2 in St. C and then 1 in Bethesda.
I think a lot of agents are getting busy right now, and it's going to be because of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Ida was just in here earlier printing off papers, running around, getting her dot loop ready to go, and she had a whole lead call in, and so spring market, here we go, right?
Okay, do you want to start off with story 1?
Yeah, let me see if I get this image. So these are the states with the most leased in housing inventory.
Fast company.
Yep, going into 2026. And the states that are actually having the greatest increase in housing is actually Texas and Florida. So these are the 2 places where they're seeing a lot of housing supply come in, but at the same time, the Northeast and Midwest have very limited housing supply. So just because we're talking nationwide stories and things like that, depending on which market you're in, will dramatically affect if there's going to be multiple options out there, if you can negotiate on like certain deals the way you would in other states. So keep in mind if it's actually a lot of houses for sale or if there's a limited supply. And basically it's just giving people rather negotiation ability or creating a seller's market, which is what I would like to see the real estate world do, get to a place where it's balanced across the board, but I just don't think that would ever happen because it's location. Yeah. So if you have a nice place, a ranch, or a nice flat piece of land to farm, the prices are gonna be a little bit different for those exact reasons. I was actually talking to a seller over the weekend for that.
Well, I know our story is nationwide, but like you could even run into that locally, like down the block. Houses are going crazy, then on the road.
No, so that's what I was saying about my investor. We had a chat over the weekend where we were trying to value his land, but we couldn't necessarily put a number on it because the value would be based on the utility of the land. And depending on where you are and what type of minerals or what you have going on at your land, each piece of land is drastically different in value. And so I don't know. It's kind of hard to project that type of thing when it comes into future profits and what people can do with things. But when it comes to buying a house this year, anytime during 2026 or selling, this is one of the main reasons you want to contact a real estate agent so you can know if your area is a buyer-friendly area or a seller-friendly area. Are you going to make a lot of money on smaller houses, or is there plenty of options to take your people around and check out, right? You ready for story 2?
Story 2. You have the article?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Housing demand remains strong despite uncertainty. And that is AOL Finance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Despite economic concerns and higher mortgage rates compared to the pandemic era, housing demand in the United States remains steady. Many buyers are still actively searching for homes. Housing demand has slowed but not disappeared. Buyers are spending more time evaluating homes and budgets. They're waiting for the right opportunity rather than rushing. The housing market is shifting from a frenzied seller's market to a more balanced environment. Buyers now are spending more time evaluating their options, while sellers must be more strategic when pricing and marketing their homes.
It goes back to story one.
Yeah, I think they're definitely falling off of each other.
Mm-hmm. Depending on where you are and how things are going, I think we said that last week or the week before. Depending on how you're pricing your house and how you're deciding where you want to list your house, you have to be careful with these buyers. They have AI now. They can evaluate things faster. They're spending more time looking at reviews, looking at different options online. They're not the same buyer that only saw the billboards or the signs, you know what I mean? They actually can do research now. So those type of buyers are coming into the market.
I think this is so true. I think a lot of buyers are waiting instead of just rushing into the first house they see.
I mean, that's what you do with your outfits. You know what I mean? You'll take your time and you'll do your research. Like, you're not the type of person who just goes in and buys the first thing you see, because that's the generation.
Yeah.
We're at a time where information is everywhere, so why not get the best deal to get more bang for your buck than buying that one outfit where you could have got three, because this whole thing's going on, right?
Yep.
That's a real thing. So story 3.
Market watch.
Bum, 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 bum. This is consumer confidence and the global events that seem to be impacting us. Okay, you know that's a thing that's going around, and the oil prices, inflation, interest rates, mortgage, all these things can be impacted at any given any given moment when it comes to geopolitical events. The asset class, things with the stock market, they're attached to these things and they adapt pretty quickly. But despite that, I love where we were at on the second story and the first story. People are doing their research. So just because these things are happening around the world, it's almost amazing how balanced the market is still remaining. So we haven't seen any drastic influxes or anything like that yet. I was about to say a conspiracy theory thing, so let me not say that. But we just might say that things are going our way right now, and this is why everything's still going great, right? We're gonna leave that off the show. You know, we'll do that on the Outside Minds podcast when I get on there from time to time. But yes, so interest rates trends, market shifts, all these things should be shifting drastically because of these geopolitical events, but they are maintaining stable because people are doing their research and not just jumping into things just because you saw something on the news. I think there's a lot of people who are less impacted emotionally about what the news is saying as they were in previous years. So I think that's now going into their financial decisions, which is pretty sweet. I think it's a great advantage that we will all have in the future moving forward. And the last story for the day.
Story 4, where's
This one.
Right
Yep.
there.
Reuters.
The U.S. housing shortage continues. The U.S. is still facing a major housing shortage, with an estimate deficit over 4 million houses nationwide. The U.S. housing supply gap is estimated at over 4 million homes. Builders face challenges such as labor shortages and construction costs. Limited supply keeps homes prices elevated. The housing shortage is one of the most significant long-term factors influencing the real estate market right now. How an agent can help you through this. They can identify inventory quickly in competitive markets, strong offer strategically, and helping understand the value of their property in a limited supply market.
Yeah. Even when the demand slows, interest rates rise, limited housing supply is kept because of these prices, which is so crazy. And I think it's an awesome thing that we're kind of in this gridlock. We just lost it. I don't know if we lost the broadcast. But just in case, we're going to keep going just because we're filming on other devices as well. But just in case we did cut out. But I do like to see that this thing is becoming a balanced situation, more or less. And just because there's a shortage, just because there's world events going on, that does not mean we're not still getting deals done. You're still showing houses. People are still listing houses. So it's a real thing. This is where the market's at. And not to go too far or too long on this, maybe we're still live
I
on
don't know
the
if we're still live or
feed.
not.
But let's jump into the buyer-seller tip.
Okay. You do seller or do buyer?
Let's do it.
Perfect. So the buyer tip of the week, understand your local inventory before you start shopping. This falls back on everything we've been preaching.
Yep.
Okay, with inventory levels widely across the country and even from one city to the next, buyers should take time to understand what your local housing supply looks like before jumping into the market. Just a little tip, before scheduling multiple showings, ask your agent to run a local market report that shows how many homes are currently available, the average number of days the home stays on the market, and whether homes are selling above or below asking price.
All great tips. The thing is, you have options, but you need an agent to tell you which market you're in. This is a real thing. Think about that before moving forward. Do your research, not only on the homes, not only how to get your mortgages and these things, but who to work with that's going to help you build that bridge to get you to where you're trying to go. All these elements are super important, hands down. And a seller tip for the day is price your home based on today's market, not last year's. What everybody wants me to say is today's price is not yesterday's price, okay? And so with that being said, the market's completely different. People are buying differently. People have different asset classes. People have different ways of getting into ownership and more options to when it comes to selling. So what she was just saying, same thing on the seller side. Do your research, find somebody who can tell you what type of market you are currently sitting in, if it's shifting from seller market to a buyer market, and then how to price yourself strategically so that you can get the property seen, sold, and out of here. As of right now, there's a lot of people who are holding on to, long forgotten times where I could get any price I want, but now that there's so many mortgage options, tax money is back in the air. People have this finance to flip their house, do their renovations, do their upgrades, and make their moves in general. So this is the time to take advantage of it if you want to, but if not, there's always next year, right?
I think it's a great seller tip of the week. I think strategic pricing is definitely the most important thing.
And to let people know where we are, because last year's market is not this year's market.
Yeah.
So there's just things to think about. But other than that, I think that will be it for the show today, since we have a black screen on
Hopefully
Facebook.
it's saved. I don't know.
We might still be live. Last time this did this, I cut it off, cut it back on, and it just was black.
Yeah.
Yeah, during that time.
We're gonna hope.
So, but either way, this is what a live show does. This is exactly how it's supposed to go. You're doing it on the fly. We're giving you that magic as the magic happened. But until next time,
we'll catch you guys later.
see you guys soon.